Vanakkam.
Namaste.
Namaskaram.
Sai Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Swamiye Saranamayappa. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. You're currently streaming live with us right here in Indonesia South on Atenville TV. This is the show called The Journey, and it's about exploring Hinduism as a whole. I'm your host, Kimera, Heeralal, and by my side, we've got Pritesh, Hiramoney.
Namaste, everyone.
All right, so, well, as you can see, by next to Pritesh, you can see who we're talking about today. We're talking about the origins of Meenakshi. How do you pronounce it? Sundareswara.
Yeah,
Sundareswara. Can I say Meenakshi Devi? It's easier for me. I'm English speaking.
That's what they say, like, you know, like when you Google it, it's Devi, because everything is Devi. It's
for females,
yeah. Some people can't say the word because they don't know.
Sundareswara. Yeah. There we go. I get it like third time. 3 times the charm, you know, right? All right, welcome to the show. If you're watching the show for the very first time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it already. And if you are just having a look-see, please just click on the subscribe button and the bell icon just so that you can see what else Atenville TV has to offer. And well, basically you'll be supporting our community channel. Yes, I know it says Atenville, but we're in Indonesia South, but we're doing our seva in these 2 different communities as our devil, and we're from the South, baby. Yeah. South side. Do that again. South side. Oh, I was learning.
We're not promoting gangsterism, yeah. We just, some people have.
People say you're uncultured.
It's kind of true, yeah.
No, we're from the South, right? That's how we do. All right. So for those of you who are new to the show, this show is an educational show. Also, well, you can see entertaining, and we're all about showcasing talent as well. People who can sing and who can actually follow the Hindu culture musically. Now today we're talking about the origins of Meenakshi Amma. But before we get to it, how was your day? Yeah?
It was quiet, peaceful.
Peaceful?
Yeah.
How old are you again?
25.
You sound like an elderly.
Elderly, yeah.
So you had a good relaxing day.
Yeah.
Happy Women's Day, everybody. Sorry about that. Power to the woman. Power. Yeah. So how do you feel about Women's Day? What besides chilling and relaxing?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Women's Day?
I feel like, like every woman, like mother, daughter, auntie, they need a day off. Like today is their day,
Yeah.
You mustn't like only, but the thing is, you mustn't only celebrate him like on this day. You must celebrate him throughout the whole day, every day, because they're the ones that do everything for you. So like, yeah.
At least you appreciate the females in your life. Yeah. Well, happy Women's Day to all the lovely ladies out there. I'd like to give a special thanks to my mom, to everyone I know at the MSK Temple, to all the ladies I know at the SMK SSA in Weinberg Street. Thank you, ladies, for being a part of my life and for always being there for me and teaching me this culture as I'm growing as a person. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at today's topic of conversation. But wait, before we do, can I give you guys good vibes before we start? Can we do that? All right, let's do that. Let's look at what's happening in Durban. We've got Deshan Style and Naidu from Dubs to open up the show for us today. He's performing Pilaya. Check him out.
Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprava Nirvignam Gurumedeva Sarvakaryashu Sarvada Palam Tinitenam Pagam Payapam Nimai Nalam Kalandunaka Nataruve Kolam Jaitunga Karimugatu Ganapadiye நீ எனக்கு சங்க தமிழ் 3 தான் கணபதியே ஐந்த கழுத்தனை ஆனை முகத்தனை இந்த நிலப்பிறை போலும் ஏற்றனை நந்தி மகந்தனை ஞான குடும்பினை ஸ்ரீ உந்தியில் வைத்தடி போற்றி நின்றாமே. ஓம் விநாயகாய நமஹ, ஓம் விக்னராஜாய நமஹ, ஓம் மேகதந்தாய நமஹ. வக்ரதுண்டாய நமஹ. ஆத்தங்கரையோரம் யாரு அந்த அரச மடத்தடிய யாரு? ஆத்தங்கரையோரம் யாரு அந்த அரச மடத்தடிய யாரு? நம்ம கந்தனுக்கு முன்னவர யாரு? நல்ல பாரதி எழுதாத யாரு? நம்ம கந்தனுக்கு முன்னவர யாரு? நல்ல பாரதி எழுதாத யாரு? அந்த பார்வதிக்கும் எங்க சிவனாருக்கும் பிறந்த மூத்த பிள்ளையாரு? பிள்ளையார் 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 பிள்ளையார். இந்திரன் சஜித்தது யாரு? அந்த சந்திரன் முழுங்காத யாரு? இந்திரன் சஜித்தது யாரு? அந்த சந்திரன் முழுங்காத யாரு? நாளை வேதம் போற்ற திங்கத் யாரு? ஞானம் சுடலம் காரணம் யாரு? நாளை வேதம் போற்ற திங்கத் யாரு? ஞானம் சுடலம் காரணம் யாரு? அந்த பார்வதிக்கும் எங்க சிவதாரிக்கும் பிறந்த மூத்த பிள்ளையாரு? பிள்ளையார் 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 பிள்ளையார். கேட்டது கொடுப்பவர் யாரு? நம் வேதனை தீர்ப்பவர் யாரு? கேட்டது கொடுப்பவர் யாரு? நம் வேதனை தீர்ப்பவர் யாரு? சின்ன மூஷிக மேல வந்த யாரு? உந்தன் கனவில் வருவது யாரு? சின்ன மூஷிக மேல வந்த யாரு? உந்தன் கனவில் வருவது யாரு? நம் சபரிமலை அறியாரிக்கும் இந்த காக்கும் கடவுள் யாரு? பிள்ளையார் 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 பிள்ளையார். ஆத்தங்கரையோரம் யாரு? அந்த அரச மடத்தடிய யாரு? ஆத்தங்கரையோரம் யாரு? அந்த அரச மடத்தடிய யாரு? நம்ம கந்தனுக்கு முன்னவர யாரு? நல்ல பாரதி எழுதாத யாரு? நம்ம கந்தனுக்கு முன்னவர யாரு? நல்ல பாரதி எழுதாத யாரு? அந்த பார்வதிக்கும் எங்க சிவதாரிக்கும் பிறந்த மூத்த பிள்ளையாரு? பிள்ளையார் 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 பிள்ளையார். ஜெய் வீர விக்னேஸ்வர கணபதிக்கு ஜெய். ஜெய் ஜெய் கணேஷ் வாயுமா, ஜெய் ஜெய் கணேஷ் லக்ஷ்மண, ஜெய் ஜெய் கணேஷ் வாயுமா, ஜெய் ஜெய் கணேஷ் லக்ஷ்மண. கரிம்புநாத விநாயகா கருணாகா
Nation style and I do everybody. Oh, performing for us, Kimera. What a way to open up the show. Yeah? I mean, even in Hinduism with our prayers, we open up with Lord Ganesha, and that show was about Ganapati or Ganesha, as you might know him. We know that all our deities have different names, so please excuse us if we didn't mention your favorite name or form. Alright, so today we're talking about the origins of Meenakshi, Sundareswara, and we're talking about Amma that I truly didn't know about until quite recently. Alright, so if you want to join the conversation, interact with us in studio, as your interaction is important to us and to our channel. We'd like to hear your views, your beliefs, your wisdom, and again, we're talking about the origins of Meenakshi Devi. So let's talk about it a little bit. Let's look at the origins now, right? So Meenakshi is actually Sanskrit for, well, basically sometimes spelled differently. It's Minatci if you're looking at it in the book, right? And it's sometimes spelled as Meenakshi, as in Minakshi. So that's weird because the I is missing. Well, anyway, we're learning today, right? Now, she's also known as Angayakani. Alright, now Meenakshi and Tandakai is also Hindu goddesses. Same god we're talking about, just the different names now, right? Excuse me for my mispronunciation as I'm English speaking, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Alright, so she is the tutelary deity of Madurai and is considered an avatar of the goddess Parvati. Now, she is the divine consort of Sundareswara and a form of Shiva. And she finds mention in literature as the queen of the ancient Madurai-based Pandya kingdom and is later deified. So it's actually quite a nice story. So this goddess is also extolled by Adi Shankara as Sri Vidya. Now, if you look at it, there are many names, and she's also mainly worshipped in India. But as you know now in South Africa, we're sharing with you. But it's documented that she is very, very worshipped and very big in India. Okay, and this is where she has a major temple which is actually devoted to her as the Meenakshi temple in Madurai. And this is in Tamil Nadu. As you notice, most of my research comes from Tamil Nadu. Now, Meenakshi, Kamakshi and Visalakshi are considered the three Shakti forms of goddess Parvati. Now, Meenakshi is a Sanskrit term, okay, and it also means fish-eyed. Yeah? Okay, so these words were derived from the words Meena, meaning fish. You learned a new word today, everybody. And Akshi, meaning eye. So you're calling this ma Meenakshi. So she's fish-eyed. So she was also known by the Tamil name Tadadakadai. Or is it, let me say it slowly, right? Tadadakai. There we go. Tadadakai. Meaning fish-eyed one. That's in Tamil, right? So mentioned in early historical account as a fierce unmarried goddess as Meenakshi. Now she's also known by the Tamil name Angaya Rakani or Angaya Rakani Namai. And the literature actually explains that the mother with the beautiful fish eyes. There you go, now you see the beauty of it. Now, according to another theory, the name of the goddess literally means rule of the fish, right? And it's derived from the Tamil words man, meaning fish, and akti, meaning rule. So that's how you break it down. So let me do that again. Man, meaning fish, and Akti meaning rule. There you go. So various meanings of this appellation have been suggested, including that she was originally a goddess of the fisher folk, that her eyes are large and brilliant like that of a fish. And if you look at it, they say that she also has long and slender eyes shaped like the body of a fish. Okay. Another interpretation is that the name is based on the belief that the fish never close their eyes. I hope you all know that. Fish don't close their eyes.
No, they don't.
They don't have eyelids, do they?
No. Even when they're in the water, like they sleep with their eyes, because it's in water.
So you know that she's always watching over you. Alright, so the goddess similarly never ever stops watching over her devotees. And yet another interpretation states that her name is based on the ancient belief that the fish feed their young by merely looking at them. And the goddess supposedly supports her devotees by merely glancing at them. there are three avatars of Adi Shakti. Let me name them again for you. Kamakshi, Vishalakshi in the north, and Meenakshi in the south. Yeah, so we learned something new today. All right, what do you want to teach us about Meenakshi Devi, as I call her? But her full name is Meenakshi Sundareswara. There we go.
You notice like how she's like a picture, she's like green, right?
Yes.
And if you look at a fish like in the water, you'll also see it's like green.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe that's how she got her name, like, or maybe the color they made her. So
Yes.
yeah. So fish is like that when you look at them. Some say they look like silver, but if you look closely, it's green because of the algae and all in the water.
Of course.
So that's what makes them green. Yeah.
All right, we're still talking about the origins of Meenakshi Sundareswara. If you want to interact with us in studio today, please do. I'd like to give a big thank you to Guru Indresan for helping us confirming a few things with the information that we've put together today. So thank you for that. For those of you who just joined the show, subscribe to the back straight after this commercial break.
Vanakkam.
Namaste.
Namaskaram.
Sai Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Swami Esanamaya. Welcome back, everybody. Our personal favorite for the month of Om Shakti.
Shakti.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. If you just joined the show, we are currently streaming live in Lenasia South on Actonville TV. You're currently watching The Journey. It's a show about exploring Hinduism as a whole. I'm your host, Kimera Heeralal. By my side, I've got Pritesh Hiramoney. Yeah?
Namaste.
You're waiting for me to make a mistake, weren't you?
I waited to listen. Would you get my surname right again?
Guys, I owe this podcast. I mess up his surname every day. I started off with his name, then now I ended up with his surname. Hiramoney. You want money? Hiramoney?
We got too many H's in our.
Yeah. All right, so for those of you who just joined the show, you're a little late, but we're talking about the origins of Meenakshi Sundareswara, and we just discussed before you joined the show. If you missed it, we talked about her description, as you can see her at the top left of your screen. Meenakshi Amma, what she.
Okay, first she's green, right? That's her color, because normally, people.
There she is right there.
There she is right there.
Okay.
Right? Very beautiful. You can see a lady, of course. Okay, not like
Women's Day.
not a fish, right? Because some people like, oh, because she got a name, her name means fish eye. Yeah, so she's not a fish, she's a lady. It's just the name, right? So basically, she's the guardian deity of Maduri. That's the place she comes from. Okay. And she's also considered avatar, or like another form of goddess Parvati, who is Lord Shiva's wife also. Damn, that goddess got too many forms. If we had to make a list, that list would never end. There's like so many different
That's
forms.
why they're gods, dude.
Yeah, that's why
They
they're
get
gods.
thousands of forms and live on forever.
You could just change your form when you experience something in life. You don't have to be that same person. Just change, deal with it, and come back to the same form. And she's considered another form of Parvati, or avatar Parvati, and a form she took because of a boon she granted to give her devotee Vidyavati. Yeah, so pleased with his penance, Parvati agreed to be born as her daughter in Vidyavati's next life or next lifetime.
Okay, so let's take a quick look. Are we done with your explanation or teachings?
No, we'll carry on later on because it's a good story. Yeah, it's a very good story.
Okay, let me talk about the text of Meenakshi Sundareswara, right? Now, there are several great hymns on the goddess were composed in the early modern period, right? I like to talk about period and timestamps
Same.
because everything will start to make sense if you understand all the stories did happen. You can't say there's different happenings. It's just they happened in different times.
Yes.
All of them, the granny's tales and your auntie's tales, they all did happen. You can't say that auntie's lying and your mother's story is true.
You might just hear a different version, but it's
Yes.
if you put two and two together, it's the same thing.
Yes. Now let's talk about we're talking about the text, right? We're talking about literature right now. So, like I said, several great hymns of the goddess were composed in the early modern period by many saints and scholars. Now, including the famous Nilakanta Dikshitar, the Chotra Meenakshi Pancharatham, meaning the 5 jewels of Meenakshi, composed by Adi Sankaracharya, which was in the 8th century CE, which I loved. Like I said, I like putting timestamps so you know the history behind our culture. So Meenakshi doesn't, this was now, we're talking about the 8th century now, right? Now Meenakshi does not directly appear in the Shtotram, the Lalita Sahasranama, and though there is a reference to her in the line Vaktra Lakshmi, or also known as Vaktra Lakshmi Pirava Kalan Minaba Okana. It means she who has the face of Lakshmi has fish eyes in the river of her face. Okay, so one Tamil poem song that I saw, or found rather, it's called a Tamil Pillaye. Okay, it portrays Meenakshi as the intersection of domesticity and divinity. Now, if you're wondering what she's about or what her character is like, it's about being domesticated and how divine she is. You know, so they say in the scriptures that the great Shiva with the metal flower wanders through the courtyard of space, destroying your work again and again, and then he comes before you. You never get angry. Every day you just pick up the vessels, which is actually quite confusing if you haven't read these books or understood anything about the Meenakshi Amma. Okay, so let's look at the a legend that I also found, right? So the 13th century Tamil Shiva text, the Tiruvalayadal, also known as the Tiruvalayadal Puranam, mentions King Malayadwaja and Panja and his wife Kanchana Malay, who performed a yajna seeking a son for Anhir. Now instead, a daughter is born who is already 3 years old, and this lady actually has 3 breasts. All right. Now Shiva intervenes and informs the parents to treat her like a son, and telling them that when she meets her husband, she would lose the 3rd breast. They follow this advice. Now the girl grows up, the king crowns her as his heir. When she meets Shiva, his words come true. She takes her true form of Meenakshi. According to the Harman, this may reflect the matrilineal traditions in South and the regional belief that penultimate, meaning spiritual powers, rest with the woman. Gods listen to their spouse, and that the fate of kingdoms rest with the woman. Now, according to the Susan Bailey, the reference for Meenakshi is part of the Hindu goddess tradition that integrates with the Hindu society, where the woman is the linchpin of the system of social relationships. Her eyes are fabled to bring life to the unborn. That's one of the legends and the stories that I've found while doing research on Meenakshi Sundareswara. All right. So, what's your story? What do you have to share with us? Any more information, or would you like to hear a song?
We can carry on. We can. I can go on. Yeah.
Okay, let me hear what you put together with
so
Meenakshi.
basically like what I've read and like she was born with 3 breasts, right? And they told like the 3rd breast will go away only when she gets married.
Right.
So that's like a long time to have like a 3rd breast. For a lady, it might be kind like be uncomfortable,
A part of your body.
A part of your body, yeah. So they said the 3rd breast would go away when she gets married. So when the time came for her to get married, she got married to Lord Sundareswara. That's how she got her second, because you take your second name from your, you get married like ladies, yeah. So that's how she got. So basically who he was, he was another form of Lord Shiva.
Okay.
Because she wanted to marry Lord Shiva, right?
Right.
But he declined.
Okay.
Because it's like basically like you marrying your wife again, right?
Okay.
So he came in that other form, and then when she got married to him in that form, that's when the third breast went to her, fell off.
Okay.
And so then afterwards, after she got married to Lord Shiva, right, and then they had a son who's, I know this is gonna blow up. I didn't even know this till today because I wasn't sure. They had a son named Subramani, which is
Okay.
also another name is Kartike, which is Lord Muruga.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
I didn't even know that. When I did it, I was blown away.
I learned something new today, and I'm a heavy, full-on Muruga devotee, guys. I refer to him as Shanmuganada. I just like that name. Wow. So that's her son.
Son, yes. That's
Okay.
his son.
All right, guys. As we'd like to hear your story, your legend, if you may call it, we'd like to hear from you guys. Interact with us as we're talking about the origins of Meenakshi, Sundareswara, and coming up next, we've got a bit of vibes. Hindu vibes. Let's do the Hindu vibes. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, it's called the Enatavam Shednai by Kiran and Nivi from the US of A. It's a Devaram. Check them out.
கையில் ஏதி சிராட்டி ஏழேழு புவனங்கள் படைத்தவனே ஏழேழு புவனங்கள் படைத்தவனே ஏழேழு புவனங்கள் படைத்தவனே பழுட்டி தாளாட்ட நீ என்ன தவம் செய்தனே என்ன தவம் செய்தனே யசோதா என்ன தவம் செய்தனே யசோதா என்ன தவம் செய்தனே யசோதா என்ன தவம் செய்தனே யசோதா எங்கும் நிறை பரபிரம்மம் எங்கும் நிறை பரபிரம்மம் அம்மா எங்கும் நிறை பரபிரம்மம் அம்மா அம்மா எங்கும் நிறை பரபிரம்மம் அம்மா என்றழைக்க என்ன தவம் செய்தனே யசோதா யசோதா பிரம்மனும் இந்திரனும் மனதில் பொறாமை கொள்ள அம்மா ஹரி கிருஷ்ணா ஹரி கிருஷ்ணா ஹரி ஹரி கிருஷ்ணா அம்மா பிரம்மனும் இந்திரனும் மனதில் பொறாமை கொள்ள பிரம்மனும் இந்திரனும் மனதில் பொறாமை கொள்ள பிரம்மனும் இந்திரனும் மனதில் பொறாமை கொள்ள உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தி உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தி உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய் கண்ணனை உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய் தவம் செய்த யசோதா எங்கும் நிறை பரபிரம்மம் அம்மா என்றழைத்து தவம் செய்தனை
Dylan and Miri from US of A performing for us live on Actonville TV. That was brilliant.
Yeah, that was so nice.
I like these two girls. Do you know what? They were actually pop singers before this.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Very talented girls. You should hear them do a cover version of the Michael Jackson. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So, guys, do interact with us as we are talking about the origins of Meenakshi, Sundareswara, and we'd like to hear your beliefs, your stories, your opinions, your wisdom would help, as well as this is an educational show. Yeah. So, we are talking about Meenakshi Devi, as I call her, and well, stay exactly where you are. We're going to teach you lots more when we come back. Straight after this commercial break.
You can do anything. All you need is determination and a fresh pair of these nallies. But what's the point of looking like Injay game if all your money is on your feet and your dreams go up in flames? In this world of doing it for Ikram, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
Vanakkam.
Namaste.
Namaskaram.
Sairam.
Jai Shri Ram.
Swami Esranamayappa. Welcome back, everybody. Om Shakti.
Shakti.
Alright, today we're still talking about origins of Meenakshi Sundareswara. If you just joined the show, that's a topic for today. And if you are watching the show for the first time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it already. I'm your host, Kimera Heeralal. By my side, we've got Pritesh Hiramoney.
Namaste, everyone.
He do the He's so chuffed I learned his name properly. Okay, so we're talking about a very special, a very big gamma, a very big deity. And we've got Devin Naidu coming in on YouTube. Namaskaram, Uncle Devin. We've got Uncle Ravi as well. Prem Namaskaram, and a blessed evening to our young hosts and viewers. Thank you so much, Uncle Ravi. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support and you joining the show. Please share with us your thoughts, your beliefs, and your wisdom on the origins of Meenakshi Sundareswara, that's who we're talking about today on the show. Okay, so what more can you tell me about Meenakshi Devi, as I call her? Yeah.
Okay, so like before we talked about how she got married to another former Russia, right? But I'm going to tell you before she got married, this is what she went on to become, right?
Okay.
Before she became like how she is now, right?
Okay.
So when her father died young, right? Young Meenakshi became the queen and began an expedition of conquest that took her to the north, leading her army, and after conquering many kingdoms, when the warrior queen reached Sagwa, I'm so sorry about this.
It's okay.
Sawaga in the Himalayas, which is the mountains, she came into conflict with the gods, right? Because she's basically like, as they say, when you battle, you become like God-fearing, right? So that's why she went in conflict with the gods, right?
Okay.
So as they were losing the battle, the gods requested Shiva to save them, and when Shiva appeared on the battlefield, Meenakshi's third breast vanished. Like, so basically, because some like I'm saying, she got married, it fell when she met him. So basically it's the same thing, it's just different way of how they put it, right? So like the third breast vanished, and she knew she had to finally found her husband.
Okay.
Right? Meenakshi requested Shiva to marry her, but he declined polite way or like gentle way, because he was already married to her, but she's in another form.
Okay.
Which is Parvati, right? Yes. So Shiva told her to return to Madhuri and wait for him, which is her home.
Okay.
He arrived 8 days later in the form which is Lord Sundas. I'm so sorry. These words.
It's Sundareswara.
Yeah, Sundareswara. The
Right.
words just kill you, right? The handsome lord, and he married the beautiful Meenakshi in a traditional ceremony, which is called the Tirukalyanam. Yeah, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering these
Okay.
words.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
and Lord Vishnu, which is the big god or the Almighty, appeared on a golden horse riding to give away the bride. Yeah, and so later the divine couple had a son, which I explained, which was Muruga.
Okay, so let's look at the divine sons now,
Yeah.
right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that Meenakshi, now we did speak about that she's another form of Parvati. And Meenakshi and Sundareswara's two sons, Kartikeya and Ganesha, are also popular deities here, and as we know. And Kartikeya is also called Skanda.
Skanda, yes.
Yes, so we know, I know him by 108 names, by the way.
Yeah,
I do the charts every night, I just say.
Yeah, you know, so sorry to.
That's okay.
Yeah, you know when the guru is doing like when he's like doing praise at the temple and they put in flowers.
Potri or Swaha.
You must hear carefully. It's their names they are calling it.
Yes.
And that's what I learned. It's their names. If you listen carefully, like you hear Muruga, Kartikeya. That's all their names.
Skanda.
Yeah, that's all their names.
All right, so Kartikeya is also called Skanda, Murugan, Supramanya. I love this one song that goes Supramanya,
Supramanya, yes.
Supramanya, Supramanya. You guys know that track? Swaminatha Supramanya.
Every temple plays that song.
You don't love that
Yeah,
track?
it's very
It
good.
gets you on a like,
In the vibe, yeah.
all you party animals, I'm gonna manipulate you to go into the spiritual part with that track. I'm gonna play it in my car and go around the south and say Kiwi's back, you know. But yeah, no, guys, I'm proudly turning 36 next month, so I'm tired of all of that, you know. But anyway,
She's just lying.
it's a way to direct all the kids to thinking, okay, religion is cool.
Cool, yeah.
But then we're actually forcing them to take the spiritual part by manipulating. See, my woman skills, my natural manipulation skills, I'm using it for good, right? Don't you want to say good stuff, Kim?
Good stuff.
All right, so let's talk about now Meenakshi and Sundareswara's two sons, Kartikeya and Ganesha. Okay, as we mentioned, they're popular. We also mentioned Kartikeya was called different names like your Skanda, Murugan, and Supramanya. He is a god of war and the commander-in-chief of the army of the gods or devas. Now, during the marriage celebration of his parents, he leads the wedding procession in his chariot. Ganesha is also called Vinayaka. How do you say it? Vinayaka.
Yeah, Vinayaka.
That's it. So, or I like to say Vinayaka.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you could pronounce it like that. And it is present, or should I say, and is present and is all the important temples as the god of good fortune.
Yes.
I won't lie to you. When I think of Kartikeya, or should I say Shanmugarada, I think of him as the one Sami or god or deity that has always, for me personally, delivered for me.
Deliver.
Everything when it was like, Kavadi time.
Yeah.
And I prayed for something specific.
Specific.
I'm not gonna lie to you. By the end of that prayer or that time, it was delivered.
Delivered, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. So we've got lots of people coming in viewing, and we've got Nishi Heeralal coming in. Namaste, Nishi. Thank you so much for joining the show, ma. Thanks for supporting us. So why don't you share with us another story or a legend to inform the people of the topic of conversation.
Okay. So in Madurai, which is
Madurai.
Yeah. Yeah. So Madurai, which is Meenakshi's home, Shiva is not the ascetic mountain living wanderer, right? Smothered in ashes and with mat hair. Here he is a bevolted household with a family covered in jewels and skills. Like basically, it's like material, like
Okay.
Yeah. It's like silks, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
He is a consort of the queen because in Madurai it is Meenakshi who still rules the land and has a special place in the heart of the people. Here in the sculpture and painting, the divine family is depicted as the
Sundareswara.
Yeah, Sundareswara, Meenakshi, Sankada and Vinayaka.
Also known as Skanda.
Skanda.
Yeah. Okay, so the Meenakshi temple is also dedicated to both the god and the goddess,
Goddess,
right?
yes.
And each has a separate shrine called the Aman and the Swami Koils. Warrior princess, queen, and goddess,
God.
Meenakshi has welcomed millions of pilgrims to her shrine through the centuries, and she is always worshipped first. Now, to her devotees, she is simply Aman, the mother, and they believing she is the most generous of all the deities, and that if you ask with faith and a clear heart, she will answer their prayers. Again, I will mention Meenakshi Sundareswara is another form of Parvati. For those of you who didn't know, that's what we're talking about. We're sharing. We go to a Meenakshi temple, so we thought it was important that we do the show. And yes, it's the month of Amma, so we decided to do this. We've got Heeralal coming in on YouTube saying Happy Women's Day to all the superwomen out there. Happy Women's Day again. Happy Women's Day to you, Heeralal. She says Shiva is my main man. Yes. Yeah, you know, the destroyer, the king of kings.
Kings of kings, yeah.
You can't say there's anything better than that or stronger than that. He's like, it's like he's there, and then you get the other deities that are just below him, and he's just controlling everything, and he's staying in meditation just to protect you.
Yeah, so like, sorry,
No, it's
yeah,
okay.
you know, like how I don't have any but you know, like on the Shiva Lingam, right, the stone, you know, underneath it,
Yes.
they say that the universe is there.
Yes.
Yeah, they said it resides there. That's why everything when you start off is Lord Shiva, because he controls everything.
That's it. All right, we're keeping you well entertained as we're educating you on the journey. And coming up next, we got Lalita Langa Astapati, and today it's being performed by Anushka Appasamy from Mauritius. Check her out.
ललितलवङ्गलता परिशीलनलय समीरे मधुकरनिकर करम्बितकोकिल पूजितकुञ्जकुटीरे ललितलवङ्गलता परिशीलन कोमलमलय समीरे मधुकरनिकर करम्बितकोकिल पूजितकुञ्जकुटीरे विहरति हरिरिह सरसवसन्ति नृत्यति युवति जनेन समं सखी विरहि जनस्य दुरन्ते समगमधनि सनि धनि दम दम गम गरि गरि सनि धनि दम दम गम गरि गरि मृगमद सौरभ रभ सव संवद नवदलमाल तमाले मृगमद सौरभ रभ सव संवद नवदलमाल तमाले मृगमद सौरभ रभ सव संवद नवदलमाल तमाले युवजन हृदय विडारण मनसिज मगरुचि सुखजाले युवजन हृदय विडारण मनसिज नखरुचि सुखजाले युवजन हृदय विडारण मनसिज नखरुचि सुखजाले विहरति हरिरिह सरसवसन्ति नृत्यति युवति जनेन समं सखी विरहि जनस्य दुरन्ते वन मुकुलित पुलकित शोते स्फुरदति मुक्त लता परिरं वन मुकुलित शोते स्फुरदति मुक्त लता परिरं वन मुकुलित पुलकित शोते बृन्दावन विपिने परिसर परिगता यमुना जल पूते बृन्दावन विपिने परिसर परिगता यमुना जल पूते बृन्दावन विपिने परिसर परिगता यमुना जल पूते विहरति हरिरिह सरसवसते नृत्यति युवती जनेन समं सखी विरहि जनस्य दुरन्ते श्रीजयदेव भनित मिडमुदयति हरिचरणा स्मृति सारं श्रीजयदेव भनित मिडमुदयति हरिचरणा स्मृति सारं श्रीजयदेव भनित मिडमुदयति हरिचरणा स्मृति सारं सरसवसन्त समय वर्णवर्णन अनुगत मदन विकारं सरसवसन्त समय वर्णवर्णन अनुगत मदन विकारं सरसवसन्त समय वर्णवर्णनम् अनुगत मदन विकारं विहरित हरिरिह सरसवसन्ते नृत्यति युवती जनेन समं सखी विरहि जनस्य दुरन्ते
That was Anusha Appasamy from Mauritius performing for you Lalita Langa Ashtapadi. Thank you so much. We've got Nishi Heeralal coming in again saying Shiva is my protector. Or as we were speaking about Lord Shiva and the story of Meenakshi Sundareswara. And Devan Naidu coming in saying she was originally a goddess of the fisher folk, that her eyes are large and brilliant like that of a fish, or that she has long and slender eyes shaped like the body of a fish, which I spoke about earlier.
Yes.
Thank you so much for helping us out, Devan Naidu. As you notice, there's only one story and one legend to those to the
Just
Sama.
maybe broken down different,
Yes.
but same thing. Yes.
Same story, same legend. There's only one legend, and I think it was done beautifully for all of us. Thank you so much. Shout out. Let's give Devan Naidu a round of applause. Uncle Devan, brother. We'd like to thank everybody that joined the show. Thanks Nishi, thanks Uncle Ravi, thank you everybody. Yeah, thank you also.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Having me here.
You're welcome. Anytime. You know, growing up, even in my home, I used to always invite people and say, yeah, you're always welcome. You know, because there's so much love. All right, Devon Naidu coming in again on YouTube saying another interpretation. Ooh, I knew that was coming, Uncle Devon. He says another interpretation is that the name is based on the belief that the fish never close their eyes, which we did mention, Uncle Devon. And he says the goddess similarly never stops watching over her devotees. Thank you so much for that. We did explain that earlier. Thank you so much, Uncle Devon, Mr. Naidu, for joining the show and sharing wisdom. We really, really thank you, and we appreciate the interaction as it helps our little channel to grow. Okay, so we're going to carry on with this. If we can carry another show for you to make it Meenakshi Sundareswara Part 2. But it seems that there's only one legend.
Yeah, one legend.
But would you like to know more about it? If we can, we're going to try and visit Dr. P.K. Maestri tomorrow at his home and see if we can get a little bit more information on Meenakshi Sundareswara and talk a bit more about her. Because this is one, I won't lie to you, this is one Amma I didn't even know much about.
Even me too.
I'm being honest. I just knew the different names of Amma, but I didn't know anything about her. I'm being honest.
When I first, not like today, like when I first saw the picture of her, I thought she was like another form of Mariamma, you know, because of the green. So now I didn't realize today that she's a different form of Mother Parvati. Yeah.
Okay, so Pritesh, tell us today, as we are coming towards the end of our show, can you please do our 108 principles of the value system from the Tirukkural?
Okay, today's number is number 42, right? It says, understand destructive desires and their consequences and restrain them from using your willpower. Cultivate moderation and live life in a balanced way. Lots of words.
Okay, so that's number 42 in our value system, guys. Let's look at it again, right? So it says, understand destructive desires. Firstly, do you understand those funny desires? There's such a sweet child, I don't think he does. He's still get those destructive desires, you know. Don't mind me saying this on a cultural show, but there are disgusting and funny desires that human beings actually have. For example, men tend to perv on women, and they do perv on men, for those of you who don't know. So if you understand the destructive desires and their consequences, you can actually, and if you restrain from them using your willpower, cultivate moderation and live life in a balanced way. So basically, don't say they're abstaining from the bad things. But what they're saying is have a balance in your life.
Yeah, you have to balance the good and the bad in your life.
Yes.
You can't only let bad take over the good, then eventually you like lead that lifestyle of bad only, so you have to balance it.
It's nice to understand the bad. So you know what I like it? I call it the yin and yang. In life, everything you do, if you want something good, you have to accept the bad with it. You can't just say, oh God, please can I only be happy? I don't want sadness, I don't want pain. Because then you need the pain to appreciate the happy part. Yeah. Devon Naidu, Uncle Devon coming in again on YouTube we're still talking about it. Meenakshi Sundareswara. He says fish feed their young by merely looking at them. Yes, we did discuss this during the show. And he says the goddess supposedly supports her devotees by merely glancing at them. I did mention that before. Thank you, Uncle Devon, for helping us towards the end of the show. Please tune in again tomorrow, but on time if you don't mind. If you got the time, please. It would be much appreciated. Alright, let's take a look at, for people who are residing towards the south of Johannesburg, there's a gentleman, as we call Guru Indresen. And Guru Indresen is available to do your Jandakam, meaning your astrological readings, also known as your Panchakam, your Navagraha Shanti, your house prayers channel if you haven't done it already. If you're watching the show from Facebook or a different platform, as we are streaming on 72 different platforms, my God. So please click onto the YouTube link, go into the video wherever you're seeing it, and go into the YouTube channel. Subscribe to our channel, as that's the number that actually counts. We do so well on Facebook, unfortunately it doesn't count. So we need you guys to help us to uplift this channel in order for us to do our seva. You doing your seva by just clicking on the subscribe button.
So please subscribe.
Do that. Please, let's make it a song. Like, share, and subscribe. Do it.
Like, share, and subscribe.
One more time. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. It's all good in God's word, guys. And even if you are non-Hindu and you're just watching the show to educate yourself, well done to you. I like learning.
Yeah, I also like.
I don't know about you. I appreciate and I respect other cultures and religions, and it's nice when you actually make sense of your culture when they're teaching you something from their culture, and it makes sense how at a certain time these two stories happened, and it kind of makes sense, or you realize some of the gods are the same with different names because the stories are the same.
Same, yeah.
Quite brilliant and amazing. I wish I could actually have the time to make a third show to show you how the different cultures go hand in hand,
yeah.
and it's amazing, and it will be a beautiful show, I think. All right, so what are you gonna get up to after the show?
I'll have to go home and do more research for part 2 tomorrow.
Same here. Okay, so tomorrow's Thursday.
Thursday, yes.
Do you drink?
No.
So you're not calling it Puza Thursday?
No Puza. It's a work Thursday.
Yeah, it's a work Thursday. Look what a good boy he is. Unfortunately, I'm getting older. I forget when I had a drink last,
Yeah.
But I'm not saying I'm a party pooper. I'm getting old. It's just I grow out of my phase. That party phase. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's all the time we have for today. Is there anything else you want to tell our viewers?
Please come back tomorrow to watch part 2 of this because we're going to have more interesting stories to talk about or share with you.
Yeah. So you just missed the episode 66, and if you want to start the show again, as soon as we're done, you can click on the link and watch the origins of Meenakshi Sundareswara as we spoke about this the entire hour. All right, from myself, Kimera, Heeralal, and Pritesh, Hiramoney.
Vanakkam.
Namaste.
Namaskaram.
Sai Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Swami Esranamayappa. Good night, everyone.